beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're going to do another palette bingo. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, I am doing a green palette bingo today. I have 5 palettes here, 2 of which are very on brand for a St. Patrick's Day palette bingo. I have the Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. This one came out around this time last year, I believe. And then we have really an OG. This is the Just My Look palette from ColourPop. So these 2 were obviously the first ones that came to mind for me. And then to round out my green themed palette selection, I have a few of my absolute favorites. My beloved Flora Story palette. You could make an argument that this is not a green palette if you wanted to. However, it's a 10-pan palette and 5 of the 10 are green eyeshadows. So I feel like that's really a green palette. Plus the packaging is very green. This was also released in spring 2 years ago, believe it or not. This one's no longer available, but it is my collaboration and I love it so much and I still use it all the time. So why not? Another excuse to use it on camera. My beloved Druid palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is actually the updated version, but Druid is the first palette they ever released. And it's still one of my all-time favorite palettes. Again, any excuse to use this one. Lastly, a palette from Lethal Cosmetics. This was in my best of 2024 palettes. This is the Avatar: The Last Airbender Earth palette. As usual, I'm just going to use my little random number generator on my phone, and we are going to let fate decide which shadow from each palette I'm going to use. Let's start with the 9 pans. First up is this one from Lethal. I got shade number 6. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a dark matte green. Definitely setting a tone here. Quickly, we'll collect my swatches on the back of my hand here. Very dark, earthy matte green. Alrighty. Next, let's choose a shade from the Druid palette. I got shade number 2. That's this one called Balance. This is a soft duochrome, kind of topper shade. Got a nice shifty sheen to it. I love this palette. You probably already knew that. And from our last 9-pan palette of the day, I have shade number 3, which is this deeper green shimmer called 50/50. This palette's so old. Oh, that is a really beautiful color. It looks more like a medium green once it's swatched. I have to adjust my generator to be 1 through 10. And I got shade number 7, which is 5, 6, 7. All right, this very pale green shimmer called Best Buds. Okay. I mean, I don't know what I expected. I knew it was going to be a pretty cohesive color story because they're all green. I guess we could still get a bit of a wild card here because there are some other shades. We have some golds, neutrals, blues in here. There are 18 shadows in the Nomad one. And I got number 14. So let's see, that's 6, 12, 13, 14. We got a non-green, one non-green shade. It's so velvety. It's this very warm orangey brown shade. Okay, I can work with this color palette for sure. I actually love this color palette. So here are the shades we're working with. I think this is going to make a really cute eye look. These 2 might compete with each other a little bit, so I'm going to have to try to find a way to let both of these colors shine. But I have a feeling we can do it. I know we can do it. Oh, I should have put on some green earrings. All right, I'm going to put on some green earrings and then we're going to start on this eye look. I think this is going to be cute. This is a very easy color palette to work with. I could have gotten some crazy, like a blue or a purple here and there. This is kind of a layup, I think. And I will take it, all right? I will take it. First things first, I am priming my eyes just like I always do with my all-time favorite eye base. It's the matte eye primer from Ulta. And once I have my lids primed, then I'm going to start with our one non-green shade. This is a nice warm orangey brown matte shade, and I'm just going to use a big fluffy brush to apply that basically all over the crease transition area of my lid. I'm letting that go down onto the eyelid itself a little bit and then blending up and out so that the color's mostly concentrated on the outer upper part of that lid space. And I'm also going to use whatever is left over on the brush just a little bit to sweep under my lower lash line so that it sort of balances out that color presence on the upper and lower lids. Now I'm using this deep forest green matte shade. This color is so rich. I'm really building it up a little bit at a time with a smaller, more densely packed brush this time. And I'm just building that in a sort of diagonal triangle shape on the upper lid and also using a little bit of that leftover pigment right along the very outer part of my lower lash line as well. This is going to add a little bit of smokiness, a little bit of a liner look to this eye makeup without actually applying an eyeliner. Next, I'm using this mid-toned shimmery green shade from the ColourPop Just My Luck palette, and I'm following along that same diagonal shape, but just more towards the center of the lid, patting that on with my fingertip to really get the best payoff from these shimmery shades. And then I'm going to do a little bit of the same type of thing here with the Best Buds shade from my Flora Story palette, this time using my pinky, and just creating that sort of slanted diagonal shape right on the inner corner. Instead of just filling in the inner corner, I'm bringing that shade up and over a little bit so that I get this very triangular application of color across the lids. And for my last palette bingo shade, this one called Balance from the Druid palette, I didn't want to just slap that on the lid to use as a topper or something like that. I really wanted to give this shade a chance to shine within the look as well. So I'm using a detailed brush to apply that along the lower lash line. And I'm also going to do just a little bit of a shimmery, frosty look on the brow bone as well. I want to give each shade in this selection a chance to really show up and be an integral part of the look. I am so happy with how this turned out. I do think that this look would be really cute with a little bit of a smoky liner, maybe a half lash, but just a little curled lash and some mascara is the way I would wear this day to day. And this is absolutely a look that I would wear anytime. In most of my palette bingo videos, I end up saying something along the lines of, I would have never chosen these colors on my own, so the palette bingo really pushed me. But in this case, I think I absolutely would have chosen these colors together. This is probably one of the luckiest and most cohesive palette bingos I've done in a while. Certainly part of that is thanks to which palettes I was working with, but I think this is colorful but not too over the top. It's a comfortable look for me. It's nothing crazy skill-wise. I just feel very comfortable and very much myself. So I'm super happy with how this St. Patty's Day look turned out. I don't often say this in my palette bingo videos, but these are all shades I would absolutely pull from these palettes and pair together. I don't know if I have the luck of the Irish or what with these shadows that I was given. The palette bingo gods have smiled upon me. I absolutely love every single shade. I love this eye look. I am happy that I get to wear this for the rest of the day. Thank goodness, because I'm doing a foundation wear test today and I have to wear my makeup all day and keep wearing it and keep filming it. So if I ended up with a crazy palette bingo look, I would really and truly be stuck with it all day. Let me know what type of palette bingos you want to see next. I love doing these. It's so much fun. It's definitely relaxing. It's a great way to play with some older palettes, stretch myself a little bit creatively, and just make a fun video. So I would love to hear your ideas for future palette bingos. I'm actually going to get this video ready before St. Patrick's Day. The Valentine's Day one I did, I posted after Valentine's Day, so I'm actually on the ball this time for once. I hope that you have a fun and safe St. Patrick's Day celebration. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, okay. All right. What? That didn't even make sense. Let's do a little research. Which countries celebrate St. Patrick's Day? Japan celebrates St. Patrick's Day with a parade and events. The largest St. Patrick's Day celebration in South America takes place in Buenos Aires, okay, Argentina, UK, Australia, Ireland, of course, New Zealand, Russia, Singapore, America, Norway, Canada, Malaysia, Spain. Okay, so everybody is out here celebrating St. Patrick's Day across the world. Love it. Okay, well, wherever you live, let me know if St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in your country or in your community. I'm curious. My heritage is very Irish, as is my spouse's. We both have very recognizably Irish last names. We both have claddagh tattoos. I can't show you mine because it's on my arm and I'm wearing long sleeves, but it's up here. You've probably seen it peek in other videos. It's the very top one on my half sleeve on this arm. And if you're like, what the heck is that? It's this. I'll put a picture. You probably see it in rings a lot. It's like a love and friendship symbol. And my husband and I have matching claddagh tattoos. But I got mine first. I got mine like 13 years before he got his. He just copied me. He actually gave me a locket with a claddagh symbol on it. And then I have a ring that I wear a lot, a claddagh ring. I haven't been wearing my rings much lately, except for my wedding ring. I always wear that one. Anyway, that's not what you came here to hear about. The tattoo lore of myself and my family members. Sometimes I try so hard to resist the brow bone highlight, but it gets me every time. All right, I have a ton of stuff I have to do. I've got to run. I've got some importante appointments that I can't be late to. Thank goodness I don't have to wear crazy eyeshadow to those. Finished with this video. Still got one more wear test check-in to film for my foundation video, but I gotta run. And I'm hungry. I need a snack too. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hang out with me. I hope that you do a fun palette bingo to play with some of your older palettes, if you are so inclined. And I love your face so much. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye.